Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Monster Hunter World Iceborne live stream. Are you guys ready to get back to the grind? It's time to get back to grinding in the Guiding Lands. We have so much left to unlock in Iceborne. We got to get it all done before they release a new monster. That way we can nail that monster and just really be on top of everything. I have a lot of videos to make, and you know, I feel like the videos are limited by the fact that I don't have all the armor unlocked at this point. So let's take a look at what armor. Let's see, what don't we have? My cat made me sneeze a minute ago, so my nose is all runny. Rune and Gigante set. So we should probably unlock all that. Lupastra. Silver Soul. We could probably build some of that right now. Gold Loon. Look at all this. Zinogre. So that you can see there's actually quite a bit we haven't crafted. And I feel like what I would like to do is just start knocking these sets out. Why don't we start at the bottom? So for guild work, I don't think we need to worry about guild work though, to be honest. They need to make this a layered armor set. That would be a good layered armor. Rune and Gigante though, how about this one? So let's build this helmet. Nope. How about this? We can't build that. How about this one? Brachydios Pallium, whatever it's called. Here, let me mute my mic for a minute. Alright, I'm back. Ruinous Coil, and we have Ruinous Greaves. It's actually a very expensive set to build. Did we build the helmet just then? Yeah, we did. Okay, good. Nergigante it is. Let's go fight some Rune or Nergigante if possible. Well, I tell you what we should focus on doing, guys. We should focus on doing whatever's most efficient. So we'll take a look at what monsters we can fight for the most rewards and focus on that monster. Because we probably have lots of armor sets to build. We'll go by rewards. We're not worried about special rewards. I'm not. Here's Bareth and Tigrex. It's only 2-player, I don't want it. Teostra is 2-player, Rathalos is 2-player, Pink Raytheon is 4. Here's Kush with 2, Rathalos with 4. Alright, so these haven't really updated at all. HM says, you jealous? I got gummy worms and you get nothing, but if you ask nicely, I might share. Did you guys know there are gummy worm emojis on YouTube? How weird. Frankie says, how's it going, Frankie? Got Wildspire level 6, no Wrath spawn yet. That's too bad. Let's see what I can post. Well, first of all, let's see what I have in the Guiding Lands. Nothing of interest. So now, let's test for investigations. Am I done with all my optionals? Investigations. Capture Zinogre. That sounds like a good one. Let's get this Zinogre one done. How does that sound, everyone? Are you making an endgame wall build? I don't know if there will be an endgame wall build. The build, having very high defense is useful when you don't know a monster's moveset. So, some people are like, I can't believe you put defense boost 7 on a build. Well, yes, because, you know, there's going to be a lot of new players going in, and they don't know how to fight these monsters at all. You know, you're not going to be able to dodge through their moves because you don't know their moves. So just being able to survive multiple hits is really useful in that case, and you're just going to knock it out in one go, probably. In the future, you really should know their moveset at some point, and at that point, you should be dodging through some of those moves, outspacing them, and then you want to focus more on a combination of very efficient defense, like maybe health boost, maybe ice resistance, whatever the case might be for that. But then the rest of your skills will mostly just be damage. Alright, so let's see what we have, by the way. You know, we'll use Ruinous Obliteration for this one. We might change weapons later, though. I YouTubed Dire Gun Dementia, got 1 result for Monster Hunter, and the rest about dementia. What the frick? Are you suffering from dementia? I got no snacks, guys. Where are my snacks? Let's go ahead and eat a quick meal. No snacks. What the? I wish I had gummy worms now. Alright, let's go ahead and head out. What she thinks when she sees you, what she thinks when she sees me. Oh my god. Gameconomist, which Nergy Gamma armor piece should I make? That's a great question, Nathan. I don't have an opinion entirely on it yet. I probably do, but I probably need to relook at the set. Senior says, the chest, greaves, and waist. He's probably right. Zinogre is currently the only monster Garuga Turf Wars with. How's it going, Solaire? Capture Zinogre. I was on a conference call. Dang it! What happened? What are we doing here? We're just fighting monsters and having problems because my cat's giving me allergies. She like climbed up on my lap and I pet her for like 2 minutes and now my nose is running. All right, here he is. Let's go ahead and get our Rocksteady mantle on. Oh, no, no, no. Come on. Dude, that sucks. It's because that first pod didn't land, I swear to God. One, two, three. Go ahead and grab the tail. He's got a big tail, so wounding the tail is a good idea. Get that wounded for everyone. Whoa, it's like my brain feels kind of like off or something. Like it wasn't ready for this. It's the early onset dementia. Alright, here's our mount. Look at that. Cool, huh? Oh, that missed? Come on. We could get the slide. Let's get this slide. That'll give us some more affinity. What? Come on, man. The new Clutch Claw actually made using the Wedge Beetles less effective. Because it doesn't always know. It's like, wait, are you using... It's like, are you using the Wedge Beetle or are you using the Clutch Claw? And I'm like, I'm using the Wedge Beetle, please. Stop it. I have no idea what's going on. My screen's just moving really fast. Let's go ahead and take this off now. Oh, snap. What the frick, man? Let me use my goddamn Wedge Beetle. Am I gonna be KO'd? No, I'm still okay. Hades is in trouble. Oh, Hades is alive. That's the noise he makes. Like a... Ah, that's too bad. Alright. Alright. Harmless Jaguars. Frankie says, Razor Sharp Charm. I need it, but I spent 4 hours in Guiding Lands last night for no spawn wrath. Saw Cruz, how's it going, man? Tell me it's not true. Did the Dark set already get sold? That's right. I was working on a near mint holographic Team Rocket Dark set, and the next morning I woke up and the guy had already paid for it. Some guy had already purchased it from me. He's like, I bought the Rocket set, by the way. I was like, Jesus. I'm not even done putting it together. I'm missing one of the cards. I'm missing the Dark Dragonite. So the Dark Dragonite's in the mail. He's coming, but he's not here yet. And but I'll probably put together another set. You saw me putting cards aside for a third set. Yeah, so I'll probably build another set eventually. This time, though, I'm probably going to have to buy some cards online because I'm really running out of them. They're also harder to find online. Like, you can find them online, but not the quality ones. I bought up all the ungraded rocket cards on eBay. I actually kind of purchased a lot of them. There wasn't a lot of them available, right? Like, for some of them, there are. You know, if you're looking for, like, I don't know, Dark Doug Trio, you're going to find them. But if you're looking for actual, like, Dark Dragonite, there's not a lot left. They're very rare, actually. He does not want to KO, does he? I need to land somewhere, like, over here. Nice job on that. Did I just hit? Oh, I didn't hit him twice. Shut up. Shut up. Can you please show your equipment after this fight? I could do that. Oh my god. Knocking me off of your back? Oh, did they just break his part? Oh snap. I got knocked off because they broke his part. I'm gonna gather this tail probably. Whoa! Give me the... Oh, come on, I don't want red... My teammates are over there, like, fighting him and everything. Oh! Oh my god. I tried to grab him. Alright, he is off to the next location. Let's go ahead and grab our Raider Rider. In some rural parts of Europe and... Oh man, that move is scary, isn't it? It's like his ultimate, isn't it? Where he lands on his back. Part's broken. Let's just keep beating him up, I guess. I mean, he's still fighting. There's no skull over his head. Oh! Well, we landed the last hit. Oh my god, and that's all we landed. There we go, we got the skull. Alright, the fight's over. Come on, man, try and keep up. He was talking about a Raider ride, Kulu. Oh, I see. ES says, just be careful. Sometimes Skull doesn't appear in multiplayer. Well, probably it shows up, like, too late, and then everyone kills him. I agree. How's it going, Sergio? Sergio's here. Jordan says, the problem is for other people in your hunt, the skulls don't pop up on their end. Maybe like a lag thing or latency thing. I have no idea. God, Raider Riders are so good. They're my favorite part about the game right now. They're just amazing. No more chasing the monster, you just jump on your Raider Rider. So much easier. What? What just happened there? I don't understand. There it goes. That was weird. Do I actually need to gather Jagras parts? Come on, die already. Got that good Jagras shard. The trap ended too quickly. Oh, okay. What'd we get? Bunch of nothing. Actually, no, we got a Zinogre Heartclaw. I'm sorry, a Zinogre Mantle. I accepted it already. And Enduring. Sweet. Raider Rider also fixes the time you'd waste on a sharpen since you can sharpen while you're riding. Oh, of course. Yes, amazing. Mark Davidson says, if you were wondering, Gameconomist, I had a small brain yesterday, called my ride, and right when I did Kulu ran past me, I got confused and thought that was my ride. Hunter's too close to him so he couldn't go to sleep, question mark? No, I think it's probably the other person was probably accurate. The trap probably ended too soon before the second shrink bomb landed. Shock traps against the Zinogres, no. How did you get so much money? I invested in Gameconomist stocks. Anyone know the set he's using? Here, let me show you the set. Here you go. This is what I'm currently using. I don't even need the fire resistance. What the frick? The frick? Let's put on some KO jewels for fun. Even though they're ultimately pointless. Get some KO jewels. Alright. So that was Zinogre. Let's go ahead and check our guiding lands. Is it faster to check this way? I don't think it is. Nothing I'm interested in. So let's post another one. Actually, somebody else posted. Let's see what somebody else is posting. ZZ. I don't really need the ZZ. What do we got? Slayer Ruin Gigante, or Slay Ruin Gigante. Kushala Daora, Kieran, Valkana, Ebony Odegaran. That's a very nice looking Ebony Odegaran, isn't it? I need that Urgon too. I'd say we go straight into Cushy boy. Don't need that, man. Try handicraft or something else. We're going to go ahead and jump right over to my anti-Kushala Daora setup, Solemn Reflection. This is going to wreck that guy. Solemn. Here we go. If you think that Kushala Daora is frustrating and annoying, all you need is this weapon. Or maybe the Dementia. The Double Joe Light Bowgun is probably a good choice as well. If we could eat for Bombardier, that'd be nice. Looks like we can. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Oop. Confirm. Oh, we got feline insurance as well. That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good meal. Bombardier and insurance. Because, you know, we only have 2 deaths allowed for this fight, which really what that means is 1 death. Because on the second death, they'll end. So that's pretty good.
Let's do this.
Alright, we're at 2,000 blue mushrooms. If we could bring that up to 4,000, that would probably be good. You can juggle into death against Kush with the greatsword. Dang, I believe you actually. It's those speedrunners, man. That's basically what they always... they don't necessarily always do it, but that's mostly what they do if you think about it. First time watching your stream. How's everyone doing? How's it going, Albino Cheese? Thanks for joining the stream for the first time, man. Jason Dragoon says, is Artillery 5 good for Solemn Reflection? Artillery 5 is going to affect your sticky ammo and your wyvern ammo, so the answer is yes. Play scope shotgun. I don't know what you're saying. I love hitting Kushala's toe. Exactly. God, dude. Freaking worst monster. Where is he at? Gameconomist, Kushala's shield isn't air but actual Kush. Our hunters breathe it in so much that they can't handle the power and look away. It's Kush. Give me that good Kush, man. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Shoot you right in the face, you fricker. Whee! And that right there is why we use Solemn Reflection and not Dark Devour, because when you want to reload your wyvern ammo, you just hit that button one time, like this. Boop. And it's a faster reload. That's called the slow reload, by the way, for those who don't understand bowguns. That's the slow reload. Very slow is where you take 7 hours reloading your weapon, and it is very dangerous, actually. I mean, you could do it, it's just that it's very dangerous. God damn it. You didn't hear that. You should hear me when I'm not live and I can actually just curse. Oh my god. I think every other word is a curse word. Come on over. Nice job. I don't know where to drop these. Right on top of Widowmaker, apparently. Oops. I failed to reload the cluster bombs correctly. What? He just smacked me so hard, man. Let's get this dust of life. Oh snap, I didn't realize we were in it. You know what I do like about this bowgun compared to Dark Devourer as well? So Dark Devourer should technically have a faster sticky ammo rate of fire. But, look at this, you don't get knocked down per shot, which is really nice. With the Dark Devourer you would be knocked backwards. With this you can actually strafe around. It's actually kind of a big difference, because it's about repositioning yourself. So I'm going to shoot him in the butt, not the face, because he's been mounted. If you play sticky ammo, that's very important that you do that for your teammate. You don't want to waste his mount, especially on a monster like this. You don't want it to be wasted. Let's go ahead and we're going to set up the Wyvern Snipe, because he's going to get knocked down. We're going to get a nice shot of Wyvern Snipe. Oh, no we're not. No we're not, because he landed on a mushroom. That's just okay. Got him. Alright. Let's see. Might be able to give the team a knockdown soon. You know what? I need to change this build back from Heartbreaker to KO. You actually do notice the missing KO, in my opinion. Oh, nice. I was worried that that wasn't going to land. Oh, let's go ahead and craft more of these. Going for a second knockdown. Ouch. There it goes. Alright, let's cluster bomb something. Okay, so we probably won't have another knockdown like that for a little while. Well, we're just going to use Sticky either way. He's flying. God dang, dude. One of the downsides to the auto reload is that after you fire the bullet, it does have to actually auto reload. And the auto reload takes a little while, so by the time you're done auto reloading, you might actually get hit by the monster. He might use a move on you. So it's actually kind of a more dangerous playstyle if you want to think of it that way. Have you seen my memes? You posted like 1 million JoJo memes in the meme review. Of course I've seen your memes. Every day I scroll through the Discord to make sure no one's been naughty. Post like 5,000 JoJo memes. Have you seen my memes? Shoot me tail here. Some decent 600 damage with that Wyvern ammo, you know? You know, I bet a long shell and gun lance would actually be alright with this fight too. Alright, we're going to start bringing out the paralysis because he's on a ledge. This is a terrific place to try and paralyze a monster. It's right here, actually. We did not get the paralysis. Let's see if we can get it. Got it. Okay, so we just paralyzed him on a ledge. You're not always going to have somebody who can take advantage of it, but I mean, like, it's just a smart move. And this is one of the reasons why I think that bowguns really should be in charge of using that ailment. You're not going to get a lot of ailments over the course of a fight. Maybe 2 of the same type of ailment. But I mean, bowguns are just going to do it better than like an ailment weapon. And the funniest part, like an ailment melee weapon is what I mean. The funniest part is, if you were to just give up that ailment on your weapon, often you can get more damage with an elemental type weapon. So elemental, or, you know, maybe just a regular raw weapon. Alright, we're going to go for sleep. When you're putting Kushala to sleep, one of your goals should be to make sure he's not in one of his tornadoes, because it's kind of annoying to deal with that. We only have 2 shots left. What's going on is his windshield's actually causing us to miss some. Got him. Having sleep ammo on a weapon that has wyvern ammo is a big deal because you can put him to sleep and then wake him up with a really nice strong wake up attack. See, that was 1,000 damage from my wyvern ammo. And I got knocked off. Jesus Christ, dude! Let's go ahead and have Max pushing. Oh my god, dude. We are literally destroying the planet. It's fall right now and it's 94 degrees. It's spooky, scary skeleton time, not burn my arse off time. That's right. That's why I'm going to drive in a Fred Flintstone vehicle. Save the planet. I was here and I was watching, it was like ABC or NBC or something. They were doing like some sort of research news report about a new kind of like company or whatever you want to call it that people like Bill Gates are actually investing in a lot of money. And it's a company that what they do is they remove emissions from the air. They have these huge fans, and the fans, what they do is they just filter air of emissions and pollution and stuff like that. And they take it and then they turn it. They can do it very quickly if you mass produce the fans. And so, how's it going, Ricardo? He says, "What's up, Doric?" Anyone a switch axe main? Wait, didn't the handler kill me general? Uh-oh. No, Jojo meme will be the god of memes. Oh, Jojo memes will be the god of memes. It's not global warming anymore, it's climate change. Is he saying that ironically, or is he really upset? I don't know. Over the internet, it's hard to tell, you know. It's not global warming, it's climate change. That's because nobody bought into the word global warming. So what they had to do was they had to pick a new word, a new label, and this would make people more open-minded. It's amazing how that works, right? That's how your mind works. You gotta change the name of the product, and then people will buy it when it has a new name. Let's go ahead and blow this up. It's like people who don't want to be associated with, let's say, you know, you've got all these new political groups forming, and it's true, they do have distinctive beliefs, but at the same time, they don't entirely have distinctive beliefs. They actually would fit within the larger group, but we gotta have distinctive names for them. Whoa. Everyone wants a new name, new label. Nice job on that. How much health does this guy have? Oh my god. I think it's just taking a while because our teammates are having trouble dealing damage. That's usually the case with Kushala. He's been caught. I don't want to shoot him in the head then. Oh, too late. Too late. Oh, this is gonna suck for you, Jane. I'll knock you away. You walked right into my clusters. We're out of all ammo types. He should be dead by now, honestly. I usually don't run out of ammo before this guy dies. Look, he's oh, okay, he is going to leave. I was gonna say he's still got so much health left. Okay. TF is Gameconomist talking about. He always talk about random stuff like I don't even want to watch his live stream no more. Bye. See you later, Ataz. That's right. I need to talk about, I don't know, football or something. What is he? What the frick? A useless emoji, please. Ooh, an useless emoji. Now you're talking. I wouldn't even know what that looks like, though. Slugger sucks. Dante Chargeblade, send him to the ranch. Wait, does somebody actually have the Dante Chargeblade? Hold on. Who's with us? Widowmaker. Hunter rank 282. He's got the Dante Devil Sword. Wait, so is this upgradable? I don't think this was upgradable. Well, no wonder we're not doing any damage. He's still wearing the old armor, Dante leather boots, Damascus mail, Basil helm, and he's got the Dante Chargeblade. That's not even one of the better Chargeblades. That's one of the bad Chargeblades from the base game. Oh, no. Ricardo says, can't keep talking about the game. It gets boring after a while. I have to agree slightly with that. We could talk strictly about the game itself if you wanted, but it's like, you can only talk so much about the game. There's only so much to say, like, alright, and now I'm shooting him with sticky ammo, and now I'm shooting him with more sticky ammo, and now I'm shooting him with more sticky ammo, and he's still roaring, and he's still flying, and now I'm shooting him with sticky ammo again. Man, I hope I get him in the head. Like, what are you going to say? It's Kushala Daora. He's boring as hell. We're grinding. We gotta have a little bit, we gotta talk about something interesting. We gotta have a little bit of entertainment, you know? That's probably what I would do. If I was, you know, if I was doing this strictly alone, I'd probably turn on a TV show to get this done. We can't do that. We're live, man. We gotta have a conversation. I think he wanted to talk about the Kardashians. Oh my gosh. Gameconomist, I love your streams and videos. Thanks, man. Slugger sucks because knockouts work on a part damage threshold. Abusing crit boost with 100% affinity nets more damage with the competitive KO rate to Slugger. I would say that's true for the hammers, right? That's actually true for the hammers. With the hammers, I would rather go more damage than more, because there's always room to get, like, there's usually room to improve your damage output with the hammer. But when you're talking about KO damage on sticky ammo, you can't really adjust the damage output it does by much, you know? So there's only a few ways you could build. You could build more defense, but you're shooting sticky ammo from a heavy bowgun. How much defense do you need? You've already got a shield. And then there's... Let's go ahead and shoot him with Wyvern. So we got Wyvern again. He's right here. So you can go more defense, or you could potentially give your team an extra knockdown or two. You know, and honestly, knockdowns do lead to more damage, right? That's actually accurate. Because when a monster gets knocked down in a group of 4, that group gets to deal a ton of damage to the monster. So having an extra knockdown with your sticky ammo is a form of damage output. Kanye is coming out with a new album, Poopity Scoop. Poopity Scoop. Ghost Smuggler says, the Kardashians. Anyone who parties up for an extended amount of time talks about a lot of different things. The way you do it makes it feel as though we were all hanging out instead of just watching. Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, I was watching some live streams and I did not realize how boring it could get to watch a live stream. You actually have to be kind of engaging. Anthony Tran says, I think after some thinking, I could see something similar to schools or corporations co-signing school loans. That's what we were talking about yesterday, and when I first heard the idea, I was like, what does that even mean? And then I thought about it for a while longer, and I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. Because right now, the schools don't take any of the risk of you going to school. The schools just absorb a ton of money, and nothing holds them accountable for the quality of the education you receive. Nothing. They can receive $40,000 of government money, and then you're stuck with the debt if your education sucked and was useless. If they had to co-sign on the loan, suddenly they'd be looking at you going, ah, man, we actually have to do a good job teaching you. Also, we can't just accept every single person into our school. They actually have to be somebody that we believe will actually graduate and will actually get a decent job after they graduate. So no more 18-year-old guy who has been convinced by society to go to school, even though obviously he's not meant to, I don't know, be a, I don't know, what, pick any subject. No more of that. Now he'll go get maybe a trade job, and the schools will say, sorry, come back in a few years after you have maybe a little more experience, and we're sure that you're a correct investment. Banks have to be careful with their investments. Banks do. Banks have to make sure they're going to get their money back if they give you a $40,000 loan. Schools do not. Schools say, yeah, we'll take your $40,000 loan. The government does not decide anything. The government just gives it to you if you ask for it, and we'll definitely spend it for you. So it's a very bad system. Very, very bad. We had the housing bubble crisis. Remember that? That whole big depression or recession thing that everyone kind of talks about? That was from people making very bad choices investing in houses, and the government just allowed these mortgage companies to make these really risky loans, and it just exploded. How is education any better than that? I would argue it's probably worse than that. All right, enough ranting though. Let's see what we're fighting next. We're going to check the guiding lands first. New member. Thank you very much, Ricardo. Let's see what we get. Zinogre, Diablos, and Bondro. Nope, we don't want those guys. So we're going to fight another monster. Let's choose an optional quest. Optional? Not optional, I mean investigation. We have another Kush. We're going to do another Kush. This time, though, don't bring that Dante charge blade. If you even have bones, go grab the bone charge blade. It's probably going to do more damage. Zachariah says, can someone help me unlock Gold Raytheon? Widowmaker. Widowmaker, you're undergeared. Oh, he's got Chrome Fortress. Okay, there you go. He's got Chrome Fortress. I was, maybe he was just playing around. Also, we're going to change our build. We want Slugger, not Partbreaker. Anthony says, I work at a bank for risk. There's a lot in the process for loans. Precisely. But when you make a loan, I actually remember because I applied for a loan for school. They don't ask you anything. They're just like, okay, how much do you need? You're like, I'll take it all. Yeah, there's none of that. They don't like follow up. They're not like, okay, how's your education going? Are you looking like a safe bet for all that money? None of that. They're just like, you want the money? You got the money. Even if you suck, you got the money. Even if you're, you know what? There's nothing that stops you from spending the money the way you want to spend the money either. You want to spend all the money on going on spring break? Go for it. You deal with it when you're 4 years older. It's crazy. That's way too crazy. I'm just talking about this stuff. Yeah, multiple KO jewels. We could actually put it over here. I wonder how KO secret would work with the Diablos armor set. Let's drop this one and this one. We got Artillery 5, Tremor Resist. Where's that Tremor Resist coming from? It's coming from the actual armor set, it looks like. It's from the Zora set. Free element ammo up, Slugger, Guard, Tool Specialist, Guard up, Razor Sharp. We have Artillery 5. I don't know what else to add, to tell you the truth. We could take Fortitude. True Shot, maybe? True Shot might be worth it. We could go Destroyer Maintenance. That finishes Tool Specialist. Where's True Shot? You know what? Actually, we are going to go Fortitude because if I were to use this setup in the Guiding Lands, I definitely would want Fortitude, right? So we're going to make a little change to the build. Now instead of Part Break, we don't focus at all on, well, we have one level of Part Break, but we don't really focus on it. We want Slugger 3, Tool Specialist, and we want Fortify especially. It's going to really be nice. Let's go ahead and change our mantles as well. So we have currently Rocksteady and Temporal. What if instead of Temporal we had Impact Mantle? Okay, so we'll do Impact Mantle, and we got these two large things. I don't really know what to do with them. No clue what to do with these. I mean, yeah, I'm just clueless. I don't really know what I would put in these at all. Let's go Part Breaker. 1, 2. Alright, so when we have Impact Mantle on, we'll have full Part Breaker. Is that right? Yeah. Change equipment. We're going to save that once again. We'll save it to Heavy Bowgun. Over Solemn Reflection right here. Alright. Everyone's ready to go? Should be ready to go. We had a long time. Let's see what everyone's talking about. I was busy making a build. I hope you can see you kill a Kush with the capture net, you Chad. I hope we can see you kill a Kush with the capture net. You just KO the monster 60% faster, that's all. Finally got my 3rd Sheath Attack Jewel special ammo boost. Do you think that the PC will once be synchronized with the consoles? Ooh, good question. I doubt it. The Trudeo stuff is meh. Are you guys talking about Justin Trudeo from Canada doing the whole like Aladdin face or whatever? Have you fought Tempered Elder Dragons yet? Yes. How can Britain be boring while Brexit is going on? Oh yeah, I forgot about Brexit. Bazookas no longer invades, so dung pods aren't as prominent, I find. I used them plenty in the Guiding Lands, actually. Katawar says, a bit ago, I'm just farming the Guiding Lands right now. Lots of Tempered Elder Dragons so far. On the topic of loans, I know the student debt is a big problem, but it is because of expensive colleges, bad money management, state, or is it a factor or a thing? He's trying to ask what is the root of the problem with the student loans. So I would say, first of all, if we observe what's going on, everyone's going into debt. That's what's going on. You basically you have all these people going into debt for college educations and not necessarily benefiting from the college education. So let's say you picked up $40,000 of debt and then you didn't actually get a nice job with that student loan. You'd just be in trouble. You'd just be sitting around with a huge debt that you would have never had if you just hadn't gone to school, right? So that's a really big problem actually, because $40,000 of debt is quite a lot of debt. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, student debt is the biggest debt in the US right now, or is it the second largest debt in the US? So there's a very big problem with it. And we're asking, what is the root problem? And I think yesterday we kind of concluded the problem is when you're 18 years old, you're not allowed to buy a drink of alcohol because we know you're too stupid to do that. Well, we think you are. But also at 18 years old, you can pull out $40,000 of debt, which is crazy. It's like one of the biggest life-changing decisions that you could make, and we just let you do it because everyone believes you're supposed to. I think society just tells you you're supposed to. Uh-oh, we didn't refresh our ammo. I think we'll be okay. And so what is the conclusion? Everyone's now got $40,000 of debt, but we're not all fabulously wealthy. That's the thing. So, you know, no one would even talk about the student debt if we were all wealthy. But we're not. We're all voting for socialism, right? That's the big thing in the Democrat Party. Young people generally vote Democrat. The big thing is socialism. Why is there socialism? Because now we all have debt and we're not actually wealthy at all. That's a huge problem. In other words, it turns out education might not have been as good of an investment for some people. Education, I think, is still very important. I love education, actually. I think that if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or some scientist, you have to have your education. So I'm not like trying to down talk education, but certain forms of education I think are obsolete. I think that's what's happened. Certain forms of education are obsolete, and so you're paying these heavy amounts for something that's not actually valuable. And the examples I was using last night is like learning about Shakespeare. Why the frick would anyone spend $4,000 to learn about something that's totally free online and does not turn into money later in your life? So I learned all about Shakespeare's writings in a English literature course that I paid like $4,000 for, and it was worth nothing. But I had to do it. The schools make me do it. Why would the school make me do that? Oh, because the school has an interest in me staying in school. Because the longer I'm in school, the more money they make. It's very straightforward. So there's supposed to be checks and balances on a system, especially government money loans. God damn, dude, he like trapped me in that tornado. There's supposed to be checks and balances when you have a government giving out money willy-nilly to make sure people can't just go crazy and make bad investments. And I would say investing in, let me ask you guys this. How many of you guys today think investing $40,000 to know everything about William Shakespeare is a good investment of your money? I mean, just kind of, just kind of baseball bat it. Just kind of, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Just try to, there's a idiom for what I'm trying to say. Ballpark it. There we go. Just ballpark how much of that money you think you're going to get a good investment on. You guys tell me, if I spent $40,000 learning about William Shakespeare, strictly about him, how much of that was a good investment? Any of it? Probably none of it, right? Probably none of it. But you're still, that class exists. Why does that class exist at college? It's obsolete. It's obsolete, and the colleges make you take it. And then they accept all this government money that you were 18 and went. I'm ranting on this again. It's such a big topic to me, though. What I was saying last night is it's a scam. I actually do believe it's a scam. The main problem is because the schools have none of the risk with you, right? So the schools don't take any of the risk of the loan. None of it. The schools take none of the risk of the loan. You take all of the risk of the loan. And then the schools force you to take a class that is bullcrap. It's a bullcrap class that you don't need. Sorry, Widowmaker, you're about to go flying. Poor Widowmaker. Sorry, man. They make you take a class that we know it's a bad investment. You don't need William Shakespeare. You just go look it up on YouTube. There's a ton of it, I'm sure. So this is what I've realized. If you were to get rid of your societal beliefs about school, just get rid of those societal beliefs and think strictly about how the money is being invested. Nobody who understands anything about investing would spend $40,000 to learn about William Shakespeare. But that class exists. It exists. And they don't tell students, there's no like asterisk on the William Shakespeare class. It doesn't say asterisk, this class is worthless. It does not say that. Asterisk, take this class because it's leisure. That definitely does not say that. They say this is a requirement to graduate. That's what they say. This broadens your education. Screw you, man. This takes $4,000 of my money and puts it into your pocket, and you just say it broadens. You become cultured if you give us $4,000 on this dumbass class. Love Shakespeare, by the way. He was a really great writer. Why am I paying $4,000 to learn about him when he's absolutely free on YouTube? It's a ripoff, guys. The school takes none of the risk of the debt. You take all of the risk of the debt, and then you learn a completely useless skill, a skill that no business is interested in. Maybe if you were going to teach English, that would be a useful skill to know Shakespeare. I guess my concern would be, if you love English so much you want to teach it, why even in that case would you need to go to school for it? Wouldn't you just go look it up? Wouldn't you just go read William Shakespeare? See what I'm saying? There are classes on learning how to teach. That's different. But if you just need to know more about William Shakespeare to become an English teacher, you would just go read William Shakespeare. Nobody stops you from opening the book. They're like, nah, you gotta spend $4,000 on this shit. It's a scam. The schools, if they had to co-sign student loans with every student, and that student didn't end up making money and they defaulted on the loan, and it was now the school's responsibility to pay the loan back to the government, I think it would overnight fix the whole problem. The schools would be looking at you going, maybe we shouldn't put you in debt for $12,000 over the course of 3 years to learn all these unnecessary subjects. that you could learn on YouTube. Because if it turned out you can't pay the student loan back, we'd have to pay it back. That's exactly what the schools would do. That's exactly what they would do, I guarantee it. They'd be like, we wouldn't spend money on William Shakespeare. I guess we won't force you to take it. You can take it if you want, but you're going to have to take that with your own money. We'll pay for the important, valuable classes that are actually a good investment. That's exactly what the schools would do. Because they're not stupid. Schools are run by a bunch of old dudes. They got money. They know how money works. They've been around for a while. You're 18 years old. You don't know. Trust me, you don't know anything. Maybe there's exceptions. There's probably some 18-year-olds who sat around reading finance books. But for the most part, you're 18 and stupid. And these guys are like 50, 60 years old running a business. They know all about money. And they're selling you a bad product, and they know it. And they have none of the risk. The government just gives you a huge-ass loan and says, yeah, go to school because it will brighten your future. But then we're all voting for socialism, and we can't pay our student loans back. You were lied to. That's definitely a lie. If it was such a good investment, why are we all poor now? So you didn't need it. You didn't need William Shakespeare. You needed to be less in debt is what you needed. We're all, all the Democrats are like, we're going to do student loan forgiveness. We're going to pay back your student loan. And the craziest part, they're not going to tax the schools to make them pay, to have the debt be forgiven. They're going to tax the American people. Plenty of people who didn't go to school. They chose to be business entrepreneurs. People who, they were too poor to go to school. They couldn't even afford to go to school, even with the student loan system. They couldn't afford it. Oh, I thought he was going to fall. I got so excited there. They're going to make the American people pay for it when it was actually the schools who sold you a bad product. All right, it's all rant. It's because it's become a very passionate subject for me. The whole student loan, I would call it an actual crisis because we know what happened to the economy when the housing market collapses. What do you think will happen to the economy when nobody can afford anything at a young age? You can't afford a home. You can't afford children. You can't afford to take care of your parents' medical needs because they need help. You can't afford any of that because some rich freaking college says you owe them or you owe the government like $40,000 because they took your money. Is an actual problem. And yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. The schools should have to pay, not the American people. If the schools sold you a product that actually did not turn into a ton of wealth, the schools were the ones that ripped you off. And the socialist Democrats are saying, yeah, but we're going to make the American people pay because we actually really like the colleges. That's what they're saying. It's really, really crazy. There's probably tons of conservatives out there who are like, they said this. They said, frick William Shakespeare. We don't need to know that. And they opened up a business because they're conservatives. That's what they do. They don't care about a liberal arts degree. They're like, we're going to do business together. People who own maybe a family business, right? Your dad's a business owner. He's probably a conservative. He probably doesn't want to pay more taxes because he's somebody in the world actually earning money. He doesn't want to pay more taxes. So he's probably a conservative. And he's like, look, son, you don't need to go to school. Join my construction company. We're going to make millions together because there's actual good money in this. And then you're off paying for the liberals to pay for everyone else's college education. It's a failed education. If it's not returning enough money, it's a failed education. And the Democrats are saying, yeah, we'll just make everyone pay for this rather than the schools that created the crisis. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I want to hear Bernie and Elizabeth Warren's plan to make the schools pay for student loan forgiveness. Make the schools pay. They're the ones who took the money. They're the ones who took the money, and actually, they're the ones who said, you have to take William Shakespeare. They're the ones who did that. They sold you the bad investment, not the American people. Nice job, everyone. Rant, rant, rant. I'm on a soapbox. Komar says you should make a political satire channel. It's not satire. Satire is when you're being funny. I'm actually just very passionate about this. It's a world where you need a lot of money to get to the top. I agree with that as well. I know what the problem is, Nathan. When you're rich, you don't need to pull out a loan. You just pay straightforward. And this means you don't pay any interest. And it's kind of like having a big advantage because that interest is a lot of money. So if you're already rich, you kind of just get further ahead. The rich get richer, right? So I totally understand that issue. The problem is if you were to just redistribute everyone's money, then you're a socialist society, and that has its own problems. 205 says, attention everyone, come October 20th, we're raiding the Board of Education. They can't stop us all. HM says they could also say that higher end education is not just to make money, but to preserve or learn an art knowing that they've never produced immediate wealth. Yeah, so if the class on Shakespeare had an asterisk that says, this is a useless course, you don't need it, I would highly appreciate that. I would not be so upset at the schools. It does not say that. It says the other thing. When you go to college education, it says, if you want your degree, you have to take liberal arts classes. You can take your science courses, like your actual valuable science courses, like calculus, physics, I'm trying to think of it, advanced algebra. I'm trying to remember these courses I took. Differential equations. You can take your actual valuable courses, but we're going to make you take this totally valueless course that you could learn completely on your own if you actually loved Shakespeare, or you could just watch a YouTube video on it and somebody will teach it to you for free. But we're going to force you to take that, and then we're going to make you pay for it with government money. And then when there's a financial crisis around America because you can't afford children, and you can't afford housing, and you can't afford a car, and you can't afford to help your parents and your grandparents with cancer treatments, we'll make the American people pay for this problem rather than the schools who created the problem. It's the schools, man. The schools and people who thought it would be a good idea to give 18-year-olds $40,000 loans, and bigger than 40,000. 40,000 is like, it's kind of like an average number. It's not like some people didn't take out more than that, because some people definitely took out more than that. Let's go ahead and post our next. Well, let's check. I want to see if we have any more interesting investigations. All right, we got these done. Register bounty real fast. We'll do mushrooms. We'll do, I guess, brute wyvern hunt. Manage investigations. I don't think we have anything new. All right. Go to Europe for free education, problem solved. There is no such thing as free education. You guys are paying for your education with a higher tax rate. In America, number one, you're paid more for doing the same job that you do in Europe. Number two, you then also pay considerably lower taxes. No such thing as free education. That's a lie. What you mean is go to Europe for socialized education, which, I don't know, maybe that is better. But, oh God, the sun's reflecting in my eyes. There's this time of day, let me stand up. There's this time of day where the sun perfectly reflects in my eye from somebody. They have like they have an old classic vehicle that they never drive. They just leave it parked, and the sun perfectly reflects into my eye from that car. So I have to close my blinds every time that occurs. It's so blinding. All right, so slay Kieran. What do you guys think we ought to use for Kieran? I want to do some shelling again with the gun lance. I haven't done that in a while, right? Oh, did I not save it? It looks like I didn't save the build. All right, so we saved that build. Take these off real fast. Excuse me. Here we go. Let's get some gun lance action with the Magdala hat. Look at this, like full Zora set. It's looking pretty spicy. Almost full. We will have temporal mantle, I suppose. We actually don't need razor sharp for this. What do we have? Defense boost, razor sharp, guts, non-elemental boost, elder seal, offensive guard, tool specialist, handicraft, blast attack, weakness, part breaker. What do we have? Oops. I'm so bad at this. Here we go. Guard up, resuscitate. Guard 3. That's tempting. Let's go with guard 3 then. And that means we don't need this guy. Or this guy. Because we took guard 3. And what are we looking at here? So free element ammo up is not useful for this. That means we're going to get rid of the artisan braces. Arshan braces, van braces, my bad. Crit boost, recovery up, handicraft, free element ammo up, focus. Focus is actually kind of nice. I don't think we have focus on the build yet. Let's just pop that on for now. I'll take a look at your comments in a minute, guys. Yeah, it's we're getting closer to an election cycle here in the US, and politics are on my mind. They're always a little bit on my mind. But we're going to have to make a choice. And it's not just about making a choice between candidates, but really thinking about the things that are important to where you live right now. And I'm actually worried about the issue of the student loan debt. We saw the housing bubble crisis just destroy us for a while, And it wasn't just the US, it affected other countries too. The whole global economy kind of fell when America had its bubble pop for the housing bubble, right? And it just affected the whole world. It's not just America's problem. It might be a problem that we caused, but it's something that affects a lot of people. We need the charger decoration. Here it is. Right. Gotta get these names memorized correctly. So what do we have? Artillery 5, focus. We need capacity boost. There we go. Capacity boost. Shield up's already on. We don't need KO. KO does not affect our build here. Ooh, so we got these leftover slots. I don't even know what to spend them on. Tremor resist. Draw. This is the part that's always confused. We could do evade extender. Let's do evade extender for now. We change our minds in the middle of the fight. We can always change the build, right? Alright, we got evade extender. And then guard 3 is actually fine. We could actually bring it up to guard 4. Or we could have, what I've been considering? Blight resist. Because so many monsters cause blight. Five, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2. Okay, making sure everything's right. We're going to drop this jumping jewel and replace this also with blight resist. So now we have blight resist, health boost, artillery 5, tremor resist, focus 3, which we need that for damage, guard 3, tool specialist gives us our mantles back, evade extender to get around better, capacity boost is actually important for damage, guard up for guarding. What do you guys think? That's pretty decent, right? That's pretty decent. We don't actually need the white sharpness, by the way. You can see it goes to white. We don't need that at all. All right, let's go ahead and rename this. We're going to name this Gun Lance. You got everyone at 18 years old picking up some huge-ass debt for arguably nothing. When I was in college, all the time I met people who were going for a useless degree. There was like they congregated in groups and clubs. I won't say what, because I don't want to upset anyone, but I won't say what they were going for. But I knew there's no real product made from the thing that they're going to school for. It's like, you're not going to sell that. All right, nice, 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 nice. There's no product for that, so how are you going to make your money back? And they just in groups together, and to think the American people will pay for it. Maybe somebody who never went to college because they couldn't afford it, they got to pay for that. You kidding me? Because the Democrats won't make the schools pay. The schools were the ones that sold the product and took the government money. Blight Resist is kind of badass. It made my first Namiel super easy. Truth says, unless you'll be a doctor or a lawyer or something that makes a lot of money, debt isn't worth it. Yeah, so if you're going to school for doctor or lawyer, you really do need the education. What do you think about guns? I think that the Republicans are probably not accepting the reality where having a lot of guns all around America is related to the number of homicides by shooting. But I think also that the Democrats won't accept that as part of our Constitution to have access to those guns. And I think if an American really does not like that the American people have so much guns, I think they can always vote with their feet by moving to a state that does not allow gun access. Or they could even consider going to one of the European countries where the shootings are considerably lower, and I call that voting with your feet. When you vote with your feet, you take your beautiful tax-paying years with you. You go to another country and you give that country your tax money over the course of your life, and then a country rises or falls in power. So if America has a gun crisis problem and is actually causing an economic problem in the country, you will be punished for that over time. You can't just have a dumb country. You can't have a country that has dumb, problematic setups. Also, for people who really want to get rid of the guns, you also have to wonder, like, why are there so many shootings going on in America right now as well? So it's not just the fact that there's a lot of guns distributed, like from a logistical point of view, but just why is it going on so much? Why do we have this problem where everyone's solution is to, well, I guess I'll go shoot everyone? It's a serious cultural problem that has to be talked about, and I don't know how do you fix that cultural problem. And the Democrats want to blame Donald Trump for causing it, and the Republicans want to blame the Democrats for being moralists, subjectivists, and this kind of stuff, right? So it's a really sad situation. Everyone says thoughts and prayers because there's no easy solution to it, actually, right? Oops, we just got knocked down. They in the last Democratic debate, Beto O'Rourke, he said that I'm definitely coming for your guns, and this really interesting thing happened where the candidate Joe Biden says that's not constitutional, and he is dead right. And it was actually nice to hear him say that. It just makes you realize, wow, he's actually still normal. You can't just make changes like that, unconstitutional changes. What's the point of a constitution if you can just break the rules of the constitution? What's even the point of it? So the country could have a vote to have a change to the constitution, but I can already tell you they're gonna, the Republicans are gonna say, nope, we want our guns, and the Democrats are not going to be able to pass that bill. So the Democrat solution can't then be, well, we're going to coerce people into giving their guns back to us, because that's the whole point of having access to guns, is to say, try to take my gun away, I'll shoot you. That's the whole point of it. So I don't really know what the solution is going to be. It would be nice if people just didn't shoot each other. Wouldn't that be nice? Man, imagine that. Imagine if people were just generally good. Just shoot people. What a freaking frick, It's like trolls on the internet. Like, why do you do what you do? It's not productive. Nothing about it's productive. They're like, yeah, but I'm just crazy. Yeah, but I'm just a psychopath. It's like, oh, well, what are we going to do about that? Gunlance is something I need to try. I haven't. Really only in arena. Oh yeah, Gunlance is fun. I really do like the changes to the Gunlance, even though we haven't managed to land this worm steak. Rancis says, it doesn't help that mental health seems to be such a taboo subject in America. Is it really, though? I don't think it's that taboo. I don't think it's that taboo. A taboo subject in America? How about we're all actually becoming extremely divided by race and religion, like super divided. That's a taboo subject. Let's go ahead and reload this. And so if we were to grab this guy, we would get more pots, right? Let's go ahead and do this. Oh, nope, we're gonna get knocked down. Look at this, 173 and then another 100 damage from that worm steak. That's so much, man. That bonus damage is terrific. Oh man, this is not necessarily the easiest monster to be fighting with the Gunlance. It's such a small target. And he moves so much. What's your thoughts on Shara armor? There could be a fight later on that really makes use of it. All of the resistance to like wind pressure, tremor, flinch free, like all that stuff. Yeah, man. Every week in America you hear about some new stupid shooting. It's pretty depressing. I feel like people have a choice to be good, and they're just not choosing it. When's the last time you felt like shooting up a group of people? I haven't felt that ever. What the frick's wrong with you if you feel like you want to shoot up a group of people? I'm so mad at society. I'll show them. King of Knights says, what is the best gun lance right now? I want to come back to it. I think this one's pretty good, but also there was another one that had an extra decoration. Well, okay, so it's kind of complicated, right? So it depends on what you want to do with your gun lance. Wide shelling, long shelling, and normal shelling. And I'm not a fan of normal shelling, but there's probably a best normal shelling gun lance. It's going to have a combination of really good sharpness, but also good attack and affinity, right? And it needs the normal shelling 6, I think. Long shelling's a little bit different. You could do... Oh man, here comes the leaf blowers. Brr, brr. We could do this with a broom, but we do it with a leaf blower. With normal shelling, or with long shelling, get him right in the butt. Dude, that's cool. I love how long, by the way, this worm steak's lasting in his face. That really does help sell it. With long shelling, you might just go with a focus artillery build where you don't do any melee damage at all. In that case, you just pick out whichever gun lance has long shelling level 6 and the most extra decoration slots along with it. And maybe sharpness is somewhat of a factor. Not too much. Alright, sounds like we need to put a new worm steak in him. Stinky poo. Kenneth says, actions aren't as simple as choosing something. What people do is based on how their brain is wired, how they were raised, every experience. Yeah, I mean, however you want to say it, they just need to stop shooting people. Like, what the? What is so freaked out with you that you're shooting people? I'll become famous if I just shoot enough people. Here's the leaf blower guy. Imagine living in a world where gasoline is a limited resource. There's a limited amount of it. And you pay somebody to blow a leaf blower to blow leaves around outside. Gotta get this leaf from being in the wrong place. The wind just blows it back onto your porch. Okay, so Big Papa Page says, the Democratic Party, you can't modify the noun party with another noun Democrat. What? I have a lot of guns and was also in the Marines and still don't want to go out and shoot people. It's definitely a mental health issue. Right, but the Democrats are correct about something and the Republicans won't admit this. If you were to go out today and quite literally take everyone's gun, everyone's, you would actually just see less shooting. That's a fact. It's because there's less guns in circulation. So you have, you know, it's kind of like the argument with abortion. The Democrats say, well, if you restrict abortion, people will just have it illegally, right? That's what they say. And so their argument is, because people will do it illegally, you shouldn't make it illegal because it won't be effective. That's totally a lie. Some women will actually decide not to have an abortion because the access to abortion is so difficult. It's only illegal. Some women will be like, well, I'm pregnant and you know what? I don't feel like breaking the law, so I guess it's time for me to have babies. It's the same way with guns. If you took all the guns away, yes, bad guys will still get guns, but actually the homicide rate will fall from shooting, not from stabbings necessarily. Stabbings will probably go up, but the mass shootings won't occur as quite as much. That's something that's something Republicans won't be honest about, but that's the truth. Similarly, it goes against our Constitution. The whole idea is you're supposed to be able to overthrow your government, so it's kind of like Democrats are saying, well, we don't care. We don't care if you can overthrow the government or not. We don't think you can, which when I was more democratic, I actually agreed. I thought that it's impossible for the American people to overthrow the government. But after doing more research, it's not that simple. It's not necessarily about overthrowing your government. It's about what if Americans waged terrorist war on America? And that could actually be effective. I've done a bunch of research on this stuff because it's such an interesting subject to me. I just read it casually. Yeah, so it's just this thing, like, it is actually a pretty interesting right to have access to guns to A, defend yourself, and B, rebel against your government if you don't agree with your government. The founding fathers of America were like, we don't trust the government. The founding fathers of America didn't trust democracy either. They had some pretty serious things to say about democracy. They said in a democracy, you know, the majority become a tyrant of their own, and the majority can be bought off. Think about our politics today. We have Yang Gang. He's such a meme, right? But he's actually a very interesting candidate that actually makes me think of the Founding Fathers, because he's like, vote for me, I'll give you all $1,000. Wow. And that's pretty unabashed buying of votes, in my opinion. Vote for me, $1,000 each. You vote for me, and I'll give you $1,000 every month. That is precisely what the Founding Fathers were afraid of. That is exactly what they were afraid of. They talked about the fear of votes being purchasable. And that's why they said we're not going to have a democracy, because we've seen they were reading from Greek philosophers, they were studying Rome, they were studying other ancient civilizations, they were studying, in their time, modern civilizations, and they were saying democracies will potentially fail because of this issue where you can have majority rule, the actual people aren't making the right choice necessarily, and more importantly, you can have some charismatic guy come in and buy all your votes. And it's like, wow, they actually were predicting this very problem that we have right now today. Nathan says, please hunt the good dog Zinogre. Let's see what we have in the guiding lanes. Kieran and Great Gyrus, neither of which I need. Let's try a different fight. Investigations. Ruin and Gigante. Let's go. Well, we just did Kieran. Let's do Velkhana. This will be fun. Let's do Velkhana. D-Not says, just be a bit careful of saying what you vote. I can say whatever I want. Right now, I can tell you I would probably like Donald Trump over the Democrats. Donald Trump, he's a divisive figure. He's a disagreeable man. But when you look at the American economy, it has, in fact, not crashed. It's doing fine. There's a lot of doomsayers out there. We aren't in any new wars. And that both, there's good unemployment right now. And the Democrats are like, yeah, but you have to look in, the Democrats try to dismantle that. But it's just the truth. We're not in any new wars. That's actually fine with me. That's probably what I would want, is to not be in any new wars. You've got Iran poking us with the stick saying, come on, get in a war with us. Or, you have conspiracy theorists saying, actually, that's Saudi Arabia trying to get us into a war, or that's the actual military of America trying to get us into a war secretly. I've heard all the conspiracies so far, but guess what? We're not in a war with Iran right now. And we didn't go to war with North Korea. And things are fine. And then the Democrats, they want dramatic change, though. The Democrats, all of their ideas are very dramatic. They're like, the country's going to hell, and only if we were to get rid of all private healthcare will we save the country. And it's just like, well, maybe people could help their moms and dads with their healthcare, because there's a high demand for healthcare, right? There's a lot of old people right now, and cancer treatment is very expensive, I would know. Maybe we could help the elderly with healthcare if we didn't have so much student debt from all these liberal colleges that taught us Shakespeare for like $40,000. And they do want to actually get rid of that student debt by making all the American people pay for it, including people who didn't go to college. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what to call that other than stealing from people. Fayez said, there is the Iranian war. Shake my head. Really? We didn't declare war on Iran. Let's see. I'm sure America didn't declare war on Iran. I would have heard that in the news for sure. I'm going to check right now. Democrats want to impeach Donald Trump. Adam Schiff. 11-year-old girl charged with a hate crime after police says she beat up a 10-year-old. I'm not going to click on that. Yeah, we're not at... There's no war. They want a war, I suspect. Dust Blackout says, to be honest, people say Trump was a terrible president. I disagree. You didn't see Obama making steps to make peace with North Korea, did you? No. Well, and, I thought that Obama had really good presentation. I think that he was very presidential in his representation of himself and of politics. But the truth is, we assassinated Gaddafi for some reason. ISIS was formed after we pulled out of Iraq. We pulled out of Iraq very quickly, even though our military generals were saying, if we do this too early, there could be a power vacuum in the Middle East that would destabilize the Middle East. That's what our generals were saying. And he's like, yeah, but I made a promise that we would get out of the Middle East, right? That's what Obama was saying, which he did. and then he pulled out, and then we assassinated Gaddafi, and there was a big power vacuum, and it was filled by ISIS. So it's like, how effective was that? Because now we're back at war. They're out there destroying ancient artifacts and sort of committing genocide, and it really was not that effective, in my opinion. And other things probably happened, that you disagree with. It just depends on how you view him. Everyone has their own opinions. Look at this. Where does this take me? What? Oh, I know where I'm at. Oh, that's so weird. Here, let's go ahead and grab our little dino. What is this going to be, a gyros? Yes, it is. DNOT says, I'm just going to avoid saying anything. I live in Norway, and Trump over here is nothing more than a joke. Sorry to tell you. But I mean, look at the American economy, DNOT. You can dislike him because of the way that he talks, the way he brags. He's a braggadocious kind of person. But look at America's economy. Our economy is actually doing well. And I don't know what else to tell you. Like, what else could you ask for from a president? I don't know what could be more important than having a strong economy. We have a strong economy, and we're not at war. I don't know what else to ask for. I think it just comes down to whether or not you're somebody who gets offended by emotional things, you know what I mean? Like, oh yes, but he said something disagreeable and mean. Well, but the economy is good, right? And it's just kind of like, I don't know if I'm ready to become a socialist country. Socialist Democrats, that's what they don't want to be called real socialists, because they have kind of this workaround. They're like diet socialists. They're diet socialists. And I don't know if I'm ready to do that if the American economy right now is fine. My wife's doing all right. I'm doing all right. We have friends that are doing all right. Actually, the biggest problems are student debt and healthcare. And the Democrats have their solutions, and I don't know what the Republicans want to do, but they should probably start outlining in a better and more loud manner what they're going to do. Whoa. I would actually love to hear a Republican candidate, including Donald Trump, say, yeah, we're going to help you with your student loans, but we're not going to make the American people pay. We're going to make the colleges that took the money pay. Because that would only be fair, probably. That would be fair. The schools that aren't held responsible for whether or not you succeed as a student, those are the ones that took all this money. I would love to see that. Dude, stop citing the economy. Wages haven't kept up with the worker productivity since the 70s. Half of Americans can't round up $400 for an emergency, and we have bankruptcy from healthcare and school. Right, so this is typically what you will hear from the Democrats. They'll say, well, the economy looks like it's doing well because you can cite a big old number or the GDP and stuff like that. But actually, poor people in America are making as much as they used to make. So I have heard that argument. I am open-minded to that argument. But all I'm saying is it's better than having an economy that's failing. That's all I'm saying. Like, we're not in a recession, and we probably very quickly could be. HM, I work at a facility where we make aircraft that are designed to kill people. I know what we do with those. Nokyu says, was you and your wife life awful under Obama? Well, we were in school collecting, let's see, it would be close to, how much debt would we have together? We were in school collecting $80,000 of debt together, going for a computer science degree. That's what life was like. And I don't know if that's the relevant question to ask even. So you're saying, was life difficult for you under Obama? But I think what you should probably ask is, was life awful in the Middle East when ISIS showed up in your town? And I would say probably it was very awful. We acted, I would say, pretty slowly on ISIS, and I would also say we contributed. I think everyone kind of agrees we contributed to the formation of ISIS by doing several things. Trying to, what would be the word? Trying to export democracy, right? So we're telling places in the Middle East, yeah, you should definitely be democratic like us. One of the things that President Obama did was he suggested, if there's these big rebellions in the Middle Eastern countries like Libya, which Libya is at a huge war, right? Isn't it? Libya, Yemen. Is it Yemen or Libya? I can't remember which one's still at war. Libya, Yemen, Egypt, what else? There's more. He made it sound like America supports you. And that's kind of a dangerous thing to say because you make it sound like we're going to ship weapons to you if you rebel, which I think we did that, didn't we? Under Obama's administration, we actually shipped weapons to the Middle East, weapons that could later be used to, I don't know, commit terrorism and form some sort of caliphate. But we did that. We assassinated Gaddafi, and we're trying to export these democracies, and they just never work. Exporting democracy to the Middle East never seems to end well. Economy isn't everything. This constant 3% growth is going to come ahead and capsize the country, literally importing millions to foster this unnatural growth. So I think HM is saying it's a ruse. It is a ruse. It's backed up. But again, I mean, it's easy to take a look at the economy and say, okay, it's growing technically, but for bad reasons. It's easy to make that criticism, but it would be even easier if you could say the economy was doing poorly, and you can't say that. The economy's collapsing. The dream's collapsing. Oh. I'll put it this way: when a Democrat is in office, our production goes way down, and there are huge layoffs. When there's a Republican in office, we ramp up so high that we can't keep up. Agreed, back to Monster Hunter. Yeah, we've been ranting for a while. We can talk about Monster Hunter again if you guys want. I do enjoy these conversations, though. I really do. There is a limit to growth. I agree with that as well. There is a limit to growth. We have limited natural resources, and this is something the Republicans often won't admit. They won't admit that, oops, you can only sell as much product as people will buy. So just lowering the price of, let's say, a box of Oreos. I always use boxes of Oreos when I talk about economic principles. The Republicans will say, well, people will buy more Oreos if we can lower the supply side cost of creating Oreos. But that's not true. People will only eat so many Oreos, and then they'll say, I don't want to eat these anymore. Let's go ahead and back up into them. So strictly lowering the cost of a good doesn't necessarily mean you're going to sell as much as you think you're going to sell. Dino says, I disagree. Trump, on the other hand, is working on pissing off people, and the rich get richer, the poor stay poor, unlike with Obama. I mean, it just sounds kind of like we're just saying things. I think you would need to give me some examples. Oh, there we go. Fangless Drake says, wait, there can't be a limit to growth. How then do we become titans? Nokia says, well, I guess the pending doom while a Republican is president drives people to their best. I agree with the idea that people need to be less dependent on their governments and think of more of what they can do. By the way, is there any pods anywhere? I guess I will create a pod real fast. Ooh, I should use my mantle. Came for the bills, stay for the politics. You sound very educated and informed on both sides. I've been, when I was a little kid, when I was like 7 years old or something like that, I'm like, what the frick am I watching on television? And back then my parents explained I was watching politics, and basically from then on I was interested in politics, and I've just kept up ever since then. It's a very interesting subject to me. It's like, it's the subject of how do you run your country? How do you feel about reparations for African Americans? I think that is extremely divisive. I think it's extremely divisive. I don't think that that's good for anyone. I think it's damaging all around. It's divides the country. GE, since we are on this topic, why does the left think that using their children to make political points make those points more valid in any way, shape, or form? You know, both the Republicans and Democrats are guilty of making arguments from emotion. And when you're talking about using children, it's very, very clearly just an argument from emotion. They're like, here, can we make you feel guilty because children? But they're not the only ones who do it. Both sides do it. Example, our freaking president that Trump supports, and we are getting rid of him to check the Egyptian riot. Oh, Fayed says, our freaking president that Trump supports, and we are getting rid of him right now, check the Egyptian riot. Yeah, the Egypt had trouble with, what was his name? Didn't it start with an M? I can't remember his name. You guys managed to overthrow one of your presidents, and then there was a vote in Egypt, and somebody from the, was it called the Muslim Brotherhood? I'm trying to remember. He won, and then he was overthrown by the military, was he not? Because he wanted to make some really pretty strong changes, I think, to your constitution and to your governing bodies. And the government was like, or not the government, the military was like, nope, we're not doing that. I just can't remember the name of that guy who got overthrown. As an industrial worker, I appreciate Trump's economics, but I would be interested in a change. Sadly, I agree, though, that the Democrats are very weak this year. Yeah, I would say Joe Biden is actually their best candidate still. You know, I didn't want to believe that he was. And then when I watched him just in the most recent Democratic debate, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's their best candidate. He just is. But he's too old, man. He's really old. It's really quite a problem. You can kind of tell he's not that fast mentally. You know, it takes him a while. He's struggling with his words, and it's very concerning. Like, how old can you be and run the most powerful country in the world? It's just a little... I would say if I was, like, strictly voting Democrat, I would say I'd feel a little sad about the whole situation. I would. Because I think if Joe Biden was 10 years younger, he could probably defeat Trump. I think he could. I don't know if he will now, though, because I think people actually will be concerned about his health and his mental stability. Or not stability, mental capabilities. It's not only shelling, there are sets for melee as well, but being able to shell with the shield is really useful. It's a very efficient, not efficient, it's a very consistent way to fight a monster. It's very hard to die. Biden is trash, take it from me. He's from my state, he's a snake. Oh, snap. Biden will sniff all the children. Did you guys enjoy those Biden thumbnails back then? No, but you know, when he talks, the positions he takes are more toward the center, I would say. Biden's not saying we're going to overthrow all of healthcare, you know what I mean? And Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, which Bernie Sanders, if you guys didn't know this, he's a year older than Joe Biden. They're like, yeah, we're just going to throw the whole thing out. We're going to have government healthcare. There will be no private insurance companies at all because you won't need it because you'll have government healthcare. And, you know, I don't really agree with that. I don't think government-run anything is as innovative as capitalist-run companies. How much better is the endgame of Iceborne compared to base world? It's not that good right now. They need some behemoth-type fights. They need some really tough fights that require coordination and teamwork, and they don't have that. And I suspect we're going to get it with the Drip DLC. Did it just sound like Velkhana died from a hit over the head with a brick of ice? Shiop says everyone is a snake if you don't like them. That's right. Fayed says the Muslim Brotherhood president was prisoned for 7 years and died because of the fact that there is no health care because of the current president is called Sisi wanted him dead so no one can compete. Man, so Fayed's actually from Egypt. It's actually very interesting to hear him talk about it. D-Note says Trump is working like some of your previous presidents, only more extreme, closes down the country because he can't drive hate politic against formers. I don't quite understand what you're saying there. Rancis said Bernie Sanders is a meme. Bernie Sanders, was he surpassed by Elizabeth Warren? I don't remember. Let's go ahead and change equipment. Let's use, Ruinous Catastrophe, perhaps? Let's use a different weapon. It's difficult having a proper conversation about this in chat here. There's also better conversation to take in private, in my opinion. Well, everyone, when it comes to politics, people get very entrenched in their positions. You know, you say, these are my beliefs. You definitely can't change my beliefs. And if you don't agree with my beliefs, I don't like you. So that's what it comes down to with politics. And with politics, I think people have two very fundamentally opposing points of view about how to run a country at this point, and that's one of the big problems, is how strongly we disagree with each other right now. Right, we're going to check the guiding land, see if there's anything interesting in there. Raudabon and Velkhana. Let's not. Let's take down another Velkhana. We're going to take this one with all these material rewards. Can Nergigante please not talk about politics? Well, he can talk about it if he wants. I have special needs, and it makes my mind boil in anger. Oh, maybe you're just being satirical. What would you guys think I would look better in, silver or gold? You would look better in turquoise. Trump closed the government because he wanted the wall built. The wall building is just to get people to understand and realize that illegal immigration is a real problem in America and around the world. Yeah, you know, I feel like, so there was a guy from Norway who was like, what did he say? Your president is a joke. But I don't know if Norway knows what it feels like to have a border with a country where, I don't know, is the number 10 million or 20 million? It's somewhere in the middle, right? 20 million people from the other country just kind of leapt over into your country, and now you have to deal with that politically. You have to talk about how do we educate them, how do we pay for their health care, how do we deal with the demand for labor jobs, how do you deal with the language barrier, and should we actually enforce our immigration laws? Norway doesn't actually have that, so it must be very easy to sit back and think like, oh yeah, your president's a dummy. You know, is difficult, and people have different opinions on this subject, for sure. Like some people believe we should just have open borders, and I personally think that any country with open borders, especially if you're a wealthy country, you're basically saying, you know, come in and take advantage of our welfare. To put it bluntly, I think that's what you're saying. Come and take advantage of our welfare. Because if I was somebody who needed welfare and I was living in, I don't know, let's say Russia, I would be like, so you're saying I could buy one plane ticket and get welfare from this other country, this very wealthy one. Guess I'm on my way. You know, that's just logical. That's not like some trick or that's just how it's going to be. I think that's why Bernie Sanders has said in the past that if we're going to be a socialist country, we have to be a socialist country with controlled borders, because you can't have both. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think he's changed his opinion on that, but probably he's changed his opinion on that because I don't know if you can be a Democrat candidate and say we need to control our borders. I don't think you're allowed to say that at this point. It's kind of crazy if you were to apply it the other way around. If there were, let's say, 10 to 20 million white Americans and they all jumped into Mexico and then they started having, you know, their own children in Mexico, and their children were allowed to actually vote in Mexican politics. You know, if that were to occur and the Mexican politicians started speaking English, even though they're all supposed to be, you know, they're Mexican, right? So you would expect them to speak Spanish, but they're all speaking English now because they want to know how the white Americans who came over to Mexico are going to vote. I think that the Mexican people would be correctly concerned about this. And the politicians are saying, we're just going to give those Americans free health care, even though they haven't paid into the tax system and their ancestors haven't necessarily paid into the tax system. This would be an issue of huge conflict. And I think everyone would very quickly understand why. And I don't know. I feel like, especially if it was the other way around, everyone would be mad at the white Americans. Everyone would be correctly mad at them. Like, wow, this is colonization. Right? Think about Ireland as a really terrific example of this. You had Northern Ireland, remember? And what did Britain do to take Northern Ireland? They colonized it. They put people there and they made them live there. Or they had them live there. That was it. That was the trick. And this became a huge area of war and dispute between Ireland and England. You know, a lot of people died because of this, and I think that with Brexit, you still have people concerned about what will happen if Brexit goes through, what will happen between Northern Ireland and Ireland, right? So there's people today still concerned about this. It's a very, very important issue, I would say, and it's one of the big ones, and one that I would say Donald Trump gets a lot of criticism for. And I think probably part of his problem is he's just so disagreeable when he talks about anything, you know? Like I was saying with Obama, I felt like he was very good at presentation, but look at what he actually did. Under President Obama, what was the number? 3 million people got deported out of America under Obama, back to Mexico or whatever it is. 3 million. But he didn't seem that way, did he? He seemed just kind of like a chill, cool dude, right? He's a black guy. Of course, he's going to be very... You're like, oh man, he's from a minority. That means he's gonna be really nice, right, to the minorities in America. No, he deports 3 million people, and then in the Democratic debates, that's what Joe Biden gets in trouble for. Joe Biden gets in trouble because of the number of people that Obama actually deported. So it's just, I feel that Donald Trump has done a very poor job of presenting his position on everything in a non-divisive way. He's very divisive about it, and I think this gets the American people very angry. And I don't really know what else to say other than maybe he could have just been a better communicator and still gotten what he was after completed, which would have been like border security and stuff like that. You should see the news in Egyptian riot because I am sick of talking about it. Let's see. I'll take a look real fast, Fayed. Egyptian riot. Oops. Egyptian protesters in Tahrir Square burn American flags. Ooh. Whoops. That's the first one I saw that popped up. Riot police crack down on spontaneous demonstrations against President Sisi in cities. Oh, you're right. This was in the news 2 days ago. Egyptian forces kill 6 Muslim Brotherhood members in shootout. Huh, so this is going on right now. Let's see what this is about. Demonstrations come as, oops, God man, why are these websites always trying to get you to like sign up for something? As Egypt's president heads to New York for United Nations meeting. United Nations, solving all the world's problems. I'm reading the article. Protesters chanted "Leave," a slogan of the 2011 Arab Spring uprisings, and derided Mr. Sisi as a thief. One man who is purportedly recording protests with his phone from his apartment posted a video saying the police were downstairs coming to arrest him. Yikes. That's not good. Picked up our buffs. How am I reading this and playing? Somebody explain that. Huh. So why don't you guys like them? I'm curious. I don't have time to read the whole article. I wonder what's going on, why they're not getting along with them. Oh, let's go ahead and shrug him. If you can't eat pineapple on pizza, you are weak. I'm not a big fan of pineapple pizza. I like my pizza to be not sweet. I like it to be savory. I have a friend, his name's Brian, and he loves pineapple pizza. When one president is praised for separating parents from kids who enter illegally, and the other gets treated like crap for doing the same thing. Yeah, so I know what you're talking about. Basically, the news media in America made it a big deal when we found out we were separating kids from parents. And it turned out that actually Obama's administration had done precisely the same thing, but even today, news media does not talk about that at all. And actually in America, we just actually do this. We separate parents from children, especially if the parents are doing any sort of very serious illegal activity, including like drugs or something like that. It's a very sad situation, it is. But I think that some of the reaction to what's going on might actually just be politically related, and especially in the case of the news media, which I don't trust anymore. It's crazy. I don't trust our news media at all. It's just a sad thing to say. I feel like you can actually go on Wikipedia and just get the news with no political spin. From what I've seen this before. They don't. If you compare that to like actual news media cycles on Fox News and CNN and NBC and all that stuff, they sensationalize everything. There's a way to get the news where it's strictly the report, not the actual, no sort of opinion. In here, they make a pizza with pineapple and corned beef. Ugh. Welcome to America, where we separate children from parents. America does have a big issue with the amount of jailing we do, and we've talked about this in the past as well. We talked about how the prisons, some of them are privately run by companies, and how this is really, you'd think that it would be a big problem and that nobody would stand for it because there's a profit motivation for the corporations to actually have a lot of people in prison and to have them in prison longer than they need to be. Oh, jeez, man. Yeah, we've talked about that. It's funny, every article I read now, I never trust. I usually end up reading 4 or 5 still clueless as to what the truth to the situation is. Well, I don't necessarily feel that way. I just feel like I know, I have a good guess which way each news media wants me to vote. And then I just assume that they're not really presenting the news. What they're doing is they're presenting an argument as to how I should vote. And that's how I watch the news now. I just assume that it's a political piece it's really meant to convince me to vote one way or another. Welcome to America, where we elect a New World Nazi as a president to then talk without information about other countries' politics. Fayed says, we hate him because he's killing people because they're trying to expose him. So his way to deal with that, he prisons them and makes and gets away with everything he wants. I know what you're talking about, Fayed. You're talking about, this is political corruption, where you jail your political opponents, and maybe you have assassins come out and kill people you don't like. And this is actually a really serious problem, and hopefully it's never a problem in America. It almost seems like it's becoming a problem in America. It almost feels like all this stuff with, like, quote, the deep state and all that stuff, it sounds like politics are getting so competitive and angry that we want to go beyond just presenting 2 different policies to actually attacking people. But then again, if you're, depending on what side you're on, you're like, well, this person really did break the law, we need to put him in jail. But yeah, it's getting dangerous, I'd say. I agree, but it doesn't tell you details of why people in Egypt are really rioting. Well, you don't riot unless you're unhappy, I'll say that. Imagine being in prison for possession of weed for more years than someone who shot someone else. Well, I don't know if that's how bad the prison sentencing for weed is, but imagine being in prison for weed at all. It just never should have happened. Imagine weed is illegal in America for years now in certain states, and their state hasn't melted down at all. Their state isn't collapsing or anything like that, right? But imagine now, in other parts of the same country, we put people in jail for weed. I can't believe how insane that is. I wish we could just fix it like right now, like just snap your finger and it's fixed, and it's not. And it's, I don't know, it just makes you feel like you have less faith in your government. This isn't like a Republican or Democrat thing, it feels like. It feels like, I don't know what the polls would show if we did a poll today on every American, what they feel about marijuana. I'm pretty confident probably 75% of America would be okay with decriminalizing marijuana. And to imagine it's not decriminalized at this point is just a joke. It's just a joke, man. How's Libya doing? I don't know. I think Libya was struggling. Does no one else want to be dummy thick? Imagine if we kissed in the hoarfrost reach. What? Jaya says, but her emails. You know, Jaya, I actually was really frustrated with the Hillary Clinton investigations. I really was. I felt like it was actually a weaponized attack on her. And then later on, I would learn more details about her actually physically destroying servers. And all I could think is, you don't do that unless you are actually guilty of something. You only do that if you're guilty. So, yeah, I went from feeling like it was just some trick by the Republicans to damage Hillary to, oh my God, maybe actually she destroyed this server because she has in fact done something that she's not allowed to do. And then later on in the Democratic primaries, you find out she is corrupt. She's collaborating with the DNC to know the question ahead of time that she's going to be asked in a debate. She's a corrupt politician. There's just no way around it. Now we hate the Russians for showing this to us. I almost want to go over and be like, thank you, Russians, for showing us this. And of course, if Donald Trump is corrupt as well, and perhaps he is, I would want to know that as well. I would hope that the Russians would show us that, or any hackers from around the world would show us that. Because you're only learning the truth, right? It's basically the truth. And I do care about knowing that kind of stuff. By the way, your politician is trying to cheat in an election cycle. It's like, wow, that's a big deal. She's your only option, though. That's why nobody showed up to vote. It's a really really crappy situation. Let's see what we got in the guiding lands. Man, nothing in the guiding lands. I'm going to keep grinding. We need more of this armor. Investigations. Kieran, Odegaran. Ebony Odegaran. What is he weak to? I don't remember what he's weak to. Bill, get the hammers. I need to smash some blackberries too. Yeah, right. Wasn't a phone smashed as well in this situation? Why are you smashing your phone when you're under investigation? And why is this, I don't know. Why was nothing done about that? I thought that maybe it was just like a thing that the Republicans would say, right? Like, oh, she did this, and it was just some false accusation. It wasn't actually a false accusation. It was so shocking to hear about. I was like, what? Let's use Dido Wolf. It said he was weak to poison. Manage items. Refresh this real fast. Information came out that showed China had hacked her server. Most likely Russia wasn't involved in the leakage. I don't actually have any way to verify that. HM is the source of true news, everyone. All politicians lie and cheat. That's how they make it. I don't know if that's actually true, Goat Smuggler. What I can say is that we do know that Hillary Clinton cheated, and I don't think Biden was I don't think Bernie was cheating. I think Bernie might have been honest. I think Bernie might have just been playing the game the way you're supposed to play the game. Have you done Elemental Greatsword yet? I have not. TGC, from what you've said about your background, I'm guessing you're Mormon or grew up in a Mormon household. Am I close? I grew up Catholic. Yeah, I came from a Catholic family, and there were 11 children from the same two parents. Shyup says the 2016 elections should never repeat. Both parties disliked their candidates, but there was simply no other choices since there is no blank ballot. I sort of agree, except there were actually a lot of Republicans to choose from, and I don't know if I necessarily agree that many of the Republicans actually disliked Donald Trump. I think there was a group of Republicans that were never Trumpers, and they were like, you know what, this guy's changing our party in a bad way. But I actually think he did end up gaining a lot of support after he won, because I think part of the reason the Republicans didn't like him is because they didn't believe he was going to win. And when he did win, they're like, oh snap, maybe this guy's, viable. Maybe this is what people will vote for. We need a Deus Volt emote. That mod just cursed. What? Let's run over here. You're the emote guy. Get one. Call the police. What? Better not be cursing in my Christian Minecraft server. Politics. Who doesn't love talking about politics all day long? There he is. I enjoy hearing about politics in other countries. It's fun to listen to, even though I have a different opinion. Yeah, it's not for everyone, that's for sure. I'm sure some people came here strictly for Monster Hunter and not for politics. And then there's probably some people who strongly disagree, and they don't want to hear either. But, I enjoy talking about it. I guess this is my channel. I can talk about anything I want. And more importantly, I feel like it is kind of important to talk about. And if we're starting up now, we might as well start it up, you know what I mean? Oh. Ooh, I haven't done longsword in a while. Des just swore. What? I admit I am not super familiar with Egyptian politics. Maybe the current government is as bad as the Muslim Brotherhood. I just know the Muslim Brotherhood hates people terribly. Well, I think people talk about how the Muslim Brotherhood failing to gain traction in the Middle East and deliver on some of the conservative Islamic changes that they wanted to make to those countries is part of the reason that we ended up getting ISIS, because and this could be wrong, correct me on this, but this is just what I've read. There were a lot of conservative Muslims who wanted conservative changes to their country, and when they saw that they weren't going to get those changes and that working from a strictly political sense wasn't effective enough, that was when they were more open-minded to forming like a caliphate that was like, yeah, we'll just go to war with you and wipe out people who don't agree. Oh, we're dragon blighted. So glad my autoplay brought this up while my hands were busy. When I think Monster Hunter content, I think people pretending to know more about the political landscape than they probably have grasped. I like when somebody actually informed about both sides talks about politics. The discussion is way better. Well, I think that often the debate is just very emotional. Whoop, we got it. Oh. I don't know. I don't know, man. Political discussion can be pretty crap sometimes. You know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of feeling like people are dishonest with me. That's what I'm tired of when it comes to politics. I'm tired of feeling like everything's carefully phrased because A, you don't want to be politically incorrect, or B, you need to carefully try and deliver a change to the other person's belief system. That's what politics feels like, and it's like freaking, it's toxic as hell, man. It's awful. We need to change your political beliefs, so we're going to talk to you in a really special way. It's like, no, I'm sensitive to that. I know what you're doing, and I don't want it. Cut this guy's head. Yeah, I get so tired of having my beliefs try to be changed by somebody. Oh, yes, we got it. That's what it's all about. It's all about getting you to vote the way that you want the other person to vote. It's all it's about. And they don't even try hard, it feels like. Sometimes it feels like they're just like telling you what to do. Oh no, we're gonna die. Oh, he's trapped. That's nice. Let's go ahead and eat this. Here's how to vote. The outrage. Oh, there's so much outrage. Oh, I didn't mean to hit that, actually. Got him. Oh, but he still got us. Ouch. I wish I could get some gummies. Gummy worms. I can't believe they have a gummy worm emote. What the frick? I don't know about Ebony Odegarin, but regular Clifford is definitely a comrade. We should riot on Capcom because of what they did to PC. Random riot shows up at the Capcom office. Oh my god. I feel also that politics have become an opportunity for two people to hate each other as well. That's the other thing. I feel that politics are supposed to be about a discussion that will lead to prosperity for everyone, which is what I actually want, is prosperity. But I think that actually these days it is just a way for you to vent some of your anger and dislike of others, and that's really a part of the reason why it's so toxic as well. Also the fact that you can do it over the internet. You don't really have to... You know what I mean? Like, over the internet, you can be as toxic as you want over the internet. You can be like, yeah, screw those guys. Ah, dang it, man. Also, I think that, with the Democratic candidates, I feel like the Republicans could underestimate them as well. I actually do think they're serious candidates for defeating Donald Trump. I would like to hear the Republicans talk more about their solutions to the student debt crisis. Student debt and healthcare as well. Like, I don't know what their actual solutions are, and the fact that I can name what the Democrat solutions are, but I can't name any solutions from the Republican Party. The fact that that's the case makes me think that Republicans are going to underestimate what Americans will vote for. Ah, dang, dude. Have you seen people canceling their MW pre-order because PS4 gets it and others have to wait an entire year to get it? Their MW? What are you referring to? He ran into a wall. Oh, he's hurt. We can trap him, everyone. My video skipped. Are we saying Capcom is a serious candidate to defeat Donald Trump? I'd vote. No one wants to do anything for the big picture. We as a society should aim for, and everyone should just become one-sided. You know, and I feel like what happened in the past when people were super divided is they killed each other. That's what happened in the past. So, you know, there's all this political discussion going on. I think there's some really fundamental differences between Democrats and Republicans. And I think in the past what you did was you just went to war and killed each other. And today we don't necessarily do that. Today we fight in politics. It's very different from the past. Maybe you went to war, or maybe you left to you know, like, I'm going west. You're like, screw this, I'm going west. Screw this, I'm going to the Americas. You can't really do that in the world anymore. You gotta live someplace with one set of rules or another place with another set of rules. Alright, let's gather all this. Wow, we got a mantle. So I think we can go ahead and build... What were we missing? I'm trying to remember. We needed an ebony Otogiran mantle. The Admiral for 2020. Rested goes, a president who says he would do his own daughter also says something about the people who would vote for him. I mean, who wouldn't do their own daughter? Yeah, I don't think he actually said that though, right, Rested? I don't think he actually said that. I think he said his daughter was beautiful, right? And he said some risque thing on Howard Stern. I don't remember what it was though. The thing is, I think in the end, people will vote for somebody who's kind of gross or disagreeable if he can produce results. I think that's what people actually want, is results. They want to see that, you know, it's kind of like saying, it's kind of like on this regard. Suppose you had somebody you were hiring to do a job for you and you found out he watches porn. Are you going to say, I won't hire you now? And that's kind of the same, it's kind of in the same vein. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you know, if somebody's into some weird fetish or something like that, doesn't necessarily mean now we need to reject him from society. Actually, that's a very conservative belief, that if somebody has some weird fetish that they're not fit to work, they're not fit to be part of your society. If it's a dangerous fetish, that would be another thing, I suppose. I don't know. So we're going to go see if we can build a chest plate. I think it's the Silver Rathalos chest plate that I'm thinking of. I'd do his toupee. Oh, gross. Lupastra. Here we go. No, actually, it must have been the Nergigante set. Is it the Nergi set? No, it's not the Nergi set. Weird. What are we... Silver Soul. Oh, it's the Golden Loon set? No, it's not the Golden Loon set. Wait. So what do we... It was the Shara Ishvalda set yesterday, and we already built it. Okay, we're good. I'm losing my mind, people. I'm losing my freaking mind. What do we need for... We need a Nergigante Hard Claw. Let's go ahead and build this. Nope. If you fired people for watching porn, then you wouldn't have employees, Law. What precisely? You know, and I think that you can become very enraged at people and find reasons to hate them for some weird, gross thing they said, but in the end, it's like, humans are kind of weird and gross. It's like, let's stop kidding around. Let's stop pretending that none of us have ever had some weird fetish. Don't you guys want to talk about this instead? So, I think we're going to be done with the Nergigante armor then, but we actually still need to build the chest plate. Let's go ahead. Oh, let's check the guiding lance. Kushala Daora. Frick that. Right. He's at the top. I'm going crazy. We should riot on Sony, actually, because they are probably the reason that we don't have cross-platform multiplayer, because they hate that. Yeah, you're probably right. There probably could be cross-platform play between Microsoft and Sony for Monster Hunter, but I don't think Sony would want to allow that because they're the leader in console sales. Gameconomist, what's your fetish? Tell us. Brazilian fart. Or, I don't know. I'm trying to think something crazy. That was what was that, like from South Park or something? We all know I have the Kovtaroth foot fetish, right? We're gonna be sniffing feet. Kovtaroth is best golden girl. What's your fetish? Probably politics. Oh yeah. Can't get enough of these politics, man. I do a great deal of thinking in my free time. In my non-existent free time. Maybe a better description would be my alone time. You know, working on YouTube can be very solitary work, and I do actually just think about like politics, religion, stuff like that all day long. I love how Gameconomist just explains this point while other people are like, what? How dare you have a different opinion? That's right. No different opinions allowed. That's how it works. And if you have a different opinion, you're an evil and bad person. Antonio Neto. I had a 5-box tempered Kushala, 5 faint 2, and freak that. Mine is EDS. Get some of those whisker biscuits. Oh god. What are we talking about? Where has this conversation gone? Kovtaroth foot fetish. Oh my god. Alright, so we are going for Nergigante Hard Claws. That's what we're going for here. John Mark Norton says, what's the best way to make a living on YouTube? If you have the ability to communicate well, sit around and edit videos, and you have the energy to self-manage, wake up, do your work, you could probably try to make it on YouTube. The best way to make money would be to provide something valuable enough to enough people that you have an audience. And you're going to struggle to do this unless you're very passionate about what you're working on, because when you're passionate, you're able to keep working and not get tired of working. So there's a lot of work. I've said this before, if you're somebody who could sit around and build something in Minecraft for like 12 hours a day every day, you could be a video editor, because it's a very similar process. Building some giant building in Minecraft, some huge structure that takes like multiple days and 8 hours of concentration, and it's a very visual task, is very similar to video editing. So if that sounds like you can consider it. And let me start off by saying you will make very, very, very bad money for a long time when you start. You'll make like worse than McDonald's money. You're better off getting a job at McDonald's, because you will make more money at McDonald's. That was bad timing. That was terrible timing. Longsword bros. Oh, we got nobody else on the team, no heavy weapons? We gotta weaken his parts then. The only fetishes that matter are cat girls, so gimme them kitty whiskers. Cat girl fun. Go make videos now. Speaking of which, we're at the 2-hour mark, aren't we? So after this, I might go make a video. Oh, we missed. What about Burger King? Did you spell that? Didn't Burger King move to Canada? It moved its headquarters to Canada to dodge taxes in America. Is that correct? Somebody remind me of that. People are like, we can raise taxes on the wealthy. You can't raise it indefinitely because they start to leave. They start to decide it's not where they want to be. Why don't we just raise infinite taxes? Oh, nice. Oh, nice. This chat turned from politics to Kovtaroth foot fetishes. That's right. We're getting real. Oh, that's too bad. I got my mantle on, so I wasn't really worried what he did. Darn, I was hoping he would attack me. Darn it. I didn't think that was going to reach me either. That was a waste of my temper. Ah, come on, man. Just out of reach. Alright, there's level 3. Alright, that's the end of my mantle. Let's go ahead and take that off. Last hunt, the second I join session, I'm going to cry and Connor. Anyone have a tear fetish? What? Let's get off of this guy. Capcom is my daddy since mine never came back. Is poison a viable status for weapons now? It depends. It depends on the raw attack value of your weapon. HM says, do you ever think Shara sticks his long, gnarly fingers in his chest holes, fishing in there and pulling stuff out? Ew. French is weird. What? Why is French weird? My dad, if my dad didn't come back either. Oh no. Let's have a my dad didn't come back stream. Oh. I don't think we're going to get... No, we're not. He's ready to be driven into a wall, but the funny thing is, none of us want to do it. Because it's more fun to actually play your weapon, but that also means you're probably losing out on damage. Which is the problem with the Clutch Claw. Oh my god. You know, I would be fine if they changed the Clutch Claw so that all Clutch Claws cause wounded parts, rather than any of them dropping pods, you know what I mean? People will still find a place to get pods. They're all over the map. Oh, dang it. Nice. Alright, here we go. Zoop. Oh, I tried so hard to get that to activate. It just wasn't done. It wasn't done with the animation. I don't have a single baby boomer aunt or uncle that hasn't had an abortion and a divorce. Oh no. I thought it was sharpening. Whee! Wow, let me sharpen my goddamn weapon. There we go. Nice. I'm surprised I didn't get knocked over there. Ouch. I think we can actually punish this. I like how some of his moves are actually still very predictable, because they're his old moves. Let's grab this material. There's a hard claw right there. That's what we were looking for. We are set. Uh-oh. How does an uncle have an abortion? It destroys his pee-pee. Oof. Jesus, man. That's the Valstrax dash. Look at that. Like, you really think that Nergigante's wings causes him to go fast? No, he's supposed to have jet-powered wings, just like Valstrax. Oh, snap. Thought that I was going to be able to get that in, but it didn't work. Rocksteady's available. Probably put that on in a moment. Oh, snap. Ah. You making the Grath longsword when? G-Wrath? Gold Raytheon longsword. I should probably make it soon, shouldn't I? Alright, he's not dead from that, so, or he's not knocked down from that, so we'll go to the next one. Oh, he's close. He's damn close. Ah, that's too bad. I don't know who dropped that, but he was not following you, buddy. Might have felt like he was. Okay. That's what I get for relying on the Rocksteady mantle. I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have done it. There's Fortify. Can't eat yet. That's okay. We'll have a max potion. And we'll have a little drumstick. Bruner is a Nurgi and Valstrak baby. That's why he has metal spikes. I must report this to the guild. The guild will want to know about this. Time left, 10 minutes. We'll grab this real fast. Sweet and tenderized. Hey, look at this free tail. Do you think Trump's wall is good or bad? Ooh, that's a tough one. I guess you would have to... It would depend on what you believe about illegal immigration. Do you believe that... Do you believe in... what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word. It's not coming to mind because I'm playing. Do you believe in open borders or not? That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So if you believe in open borders, meaning anyone should just come right into your country, then you would probably think that the border wall is ridiculous. If you don't believe in that, then it comes down to whether or not you believe the border wall is effective. So if you believe that your country is a sovereign country and has the right to control who comes in, how quickly they come in, you know. Oh, look at that Nurgi gem. Then you would probably believe in, it would just come down to whether or not you believe it's effective. Not sure if you've gone over this yet, but why do you think Zenigeva is non-existent? I think that there's a fair chance we're going to see Zenigeva return as an adult. Orion's like, open borders are stupid. I think that you can't have strong welfare programs and open borders. That's what I think. So, because, you know, it's kind of like saying any homeless man can use my house to eat, drink, clothe himself. And if you did this and everyone around you was homeless, what you're really just doing is saying, I don't own my home, anyone can use it. And nobody really does that. And it's funny because I think a lot of the Democrats that are very strongly against having better control over immigration, I think a lot of these Democrats probably live in very secure homes, probably in gated communities. So it's kind of like they don't believe in a wall for a country, but they probably do live in a gated community for themselves. And if that's the case, it's extremely hypocritical. But I haven't actually seen all of their homes, so maybe I'm not accurate about that. On the question of whether the border is effective, I feel like one of one of my feelings on the border, well, there's two things that have occurred over time. My first is my realization in the past, before illegal immigration became a huge subject of conflict between the Republicans and the Democrats. I would say, you guys know that the Democrats did actually vote for portions of the border wall to be built in the past. We already have a border wall in some areas on the border, and Donald Trump's trying to complete the border wall. He's not actually trying to start from scratch. So we already have some border wall, and this was actually voted on by Democrats and Republicans, because in the past, the Democrats were upset that Republican corporations were allowing illegal immigration, and the Republican corporations were doing this, and farms were doing this to get cheap labor. And the Democrats perceived this as a threat to unions and to the labor class, or, to the working class. They saw that as a threat. Let's say you have a lot of people coming in from another country and applying for some form of welfare somehow because, I don't know, maybe they had a baby, and since they have a baby, it's an American citizen, and now they're applying for, WIC checks and stuff like that. Well, let's say you're a black person living in a poor neighborhood, and now your neighborhood's full of people from another country also applying for social welfare, and now your little area that you live in can't afford the social welfare, and the cost of rent has gone up because the demand for rent has gone up. And you realize this is impacting you. Well, this was a big Democratic issue, and so we have some border wall that's been voted on by the Democrats. The Democrats are like, yeah, we need to stop the flow of immigration. But now we have a Republican president saying, I'm going to finish building this wall. I'm going to make there's gaps here and there. We're going to make it bigger. We're going to finish it. And because the Democrats have to oppose him and fight him, now they're against the wall. So you see like this flip-flop going on. And I'm not sure. There's people who make argument like, well, the green card is the biggest problem. People come in and overstay their work visas. But I feel, and you know what? I actually had a friend who was affected by this in college, and he's like, I'm an educated computer science student, and my work visa is about to expire, and I'm a good worker, right? I shouldn't risk being removed from the country. I'm actually a net gain for the country. I couldn't actually agree more with this. It's amazing that we're kicking this guy out because he's interested in following the rules. He's a rule follower, which is what you would want in your society, is people who they don't break the law. He's a rule follower, and he's going to get kicked out of the country because he's overstaying his visa, and he's an actual computer scientist. But then you have this group of politicians that are like tripping over themselves to give healthcare away to people who are breaking the rules, right? So I wish my friend from college could just be expedited in our American system and allow him to become a citizen because he's well educated and can provide a really valuable service. I wish that was how it worked with the green cards, but that's not the case. And people end up using the green card argument to say, well, we shouldn't consider any other forms of control over our borders simply because a large part of the problem is people overstaying their visas. And it's kind of a silly argument because it's supposed to be both. You're supposed to have control over your work visas and over people who are physically crossing into your country illegally. Kushala and Kieran. Let's see what we got for our investigations. We can do Nergigante again. I don't really care for the Tigrix armor set too much. I don't think it's very important. Capture Uragan. We're going to go for Uragan, I think, actually. I need some Uragan parts for some charm upgrades, I believe. So, yeah, for the issue of people overstaying their visas, I don't see why we shouldn't talk about border security and just include talk about visas. You don't have to have one over the other. You can have both. Z Dog Gear says, I left some information about making use of the Shara Ishvalda armor set in the comments of your last stream. You can make the dream work. Thanks, man. God Terror Boy says, your opinion is wrong. You're wrong, and you should be ashamed. Let's go ahead and have a meal real fast. I pressed join and got kicked out of the quest. Ah, typical Capcom multiplayer system. The quest to upgrade Temporal Mantle is Tempered Namiel and Tempered Kieran together. Oh man, I'm starving, dude. It's 4 o'clock. The stream's 2.5 hours long. Let's see. This might be the last one. I'm not sure. Freedom of speech. There's something that could go away one day. Freedom! Freedom! Freedom of speech in 2019. Are you a troll? Yeah, it feels like in 2019, if you don't agree with... Actually, to be honest, if you don't agree with the leftist politics, because I don't find this problem with the right, if you disagree with somebody on the right, they will argue with you. I feel like if you disagree with somebody on the left, it is as if you have broken the moral rules of their religion and they believe you're like going to heck or something. It is very, very serious. They want you to lose your job. They want you to basically get kicked out of the country. I think that's what they would ultimately want to happen. I think that's what their ultimate goal would be. They would want you removed from the country. I find that the left is actually very threatening. You got like the people at YouTube talking about wanting to make sure Trump doesn't get reelected. That's scary AF, dude. They got the biggest platform for communication on the internet. It's YouTube. Probably second biggest, probably Twitter. I don't know about Facebook anymore. Do people still use Facebook? Facebook's probably still a big deal. Ooh, I want to know what happens if you grab onto this guy with Rocksteady. There is no Master Rank Valhazak or Nergigante. What? Oh, normal Valhazak and normal Nergigante. Hey, thanks, Julian. He says, due to my schedule, I can't always catch your streams, but I always view them on weekends. Love the vids and your useful guides. Hey, thank you so much, man. That might be the first donation we've received today. Let's update that stack fund. I think it is. Sweet. Julian Sanchez. Alright, let's back up. Whoa. Alright. We need like some pods or something. He's gotta put you guys to sleep. Let's cut his face again. Make sure his face stays wounded. Alright, the face is wounded. Build the Shara Greatsword. True, I could do that. Oh man, look at that. It's crazy. Actually, did not mean to use that jump attack. Orion says, I don't know about you guys, but I don't want a sentient Cheeto who wears a wig to be a leader in our semi-great nation. I don't want a sentient Cheeto. Hedgehog says, use Charge Blade for once in your life. Right, there's a few weapons we haven't crafted at all. We need to craft the Switch Axe, the Charge Blade, Dual Blades, Sword and Shield, and am I missing any? We do actually have Hunting Horn, I just haven't used it that much. Ah, darn it. This isn't gonna reach. Oh, it's so sad. He does use Charge Blade, dummy. Yeah, I haven't used it since Iceborne comes out, though. He's actually right. I need to use it. He is right. Why did I just gather that? I didn't need that. I'm so used to gathering. Oh, so sad. Keep that wounded for you guys. Oh, nice. The tail actually just cut off. Just wound the face as well. Keep that face wounded. Very important. Nice job on that. We should have taken Walla's, not Wallamanga's, HM's advice and time our charge blade attacks a bit differently so that they land just as the monster stands up in case we were to get another knockdown or a big flinch. That's a lot of damage, man. Why the greatsword's so fun. Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't land. He's not done. You called me here. Are you assuming my gender? Oh no. All the gender stuff and identity politics. What happened, man? Let's go ahead and have a max potion. Takes a sip of my boomer juice. Boomer juice time. Where did that start? How did the boomer thing start? That's funny as hell, man. I'd love to switch X from you, the Gameconomist, if I recently tried to play something new and actually love it. Switch X is pretty cool. I feel like it's stronger. That Hot Wheel. Wait, we didn't carve the tail, did we? Uragon Scute. Theyfei. See you later, Theyfei. I'm having so much fun, I don't even want to stop. I just want to keep playing. It's a double whammy. Alright, we're about to injure the last part. Alright, they're all injured. Smack them away, guys. Ouch. Do you have any idea how fast Uragon be? He fast as fuck, boy. I like how we can run him into the wall with the, but nobody really wants to. Is people want to use their weapon. They don't want to play flint shot. They don't want to play clutch claw. Clutch claw's just not as fun as the 14 weapons, but the clutch claw is so important. I think the developers went too far with how important the clutch claw would be. Well, he's enraged now, so no knocking him into a wall. Watch your language. He's ready to be captured, huh? Let's get this shock trap. Is this Bjorn firing his claw backwards? Alright, very good, everyone. With the new Clutch Claw, everything is a weak spot. That's true. And it just kind of, maybe it makes it less complicated to fight the monster. Vote Uragon's left butt cheek for president. He'll have all the answers. Isn't that the truth? They should have gotten Crystal Beard Uragon. I mean, he just needs to slam his chin in Area 1. What did we get here? Challenger Medicine, Dragon Resist 4. Nice. All right, so I feel like we did get our stream done. It is 2.5 hours in. We grinded quite a few monsters, actually, and we should probably wrap up here, and I will go work on a video. What do you guys think? Have I rang your ears off with my political talk enough yet? Don't get me going, I swear to God. I could go for hours. I could go for hours talking about that stuff. You are still streaming, word. Ishigo. Sorry, Ishigo, we're wrapping up right now, man. You missed it. So Dog Ear says, Uragon's left butt cheek, wasn't he caught groping a Dodogama? No, he was the one sniffing children. Or was it blowing on children? I can't remember. Orion goes, bye, beta males. Let's do a gesture. Wave time. Beta. It's too funny. All right, guys. Well, I had fun. I don't know if we will have a late night stream tonight, but we will be working on videos, and I will try to get my weekday stream every day at 1 p.m. Central Time, or roughly around 1 p.m. Central Time out every day. Appreciate you guys watching. We're going to hit 10,000 subscribers pretty soon. Not 10,000. 100,000 subscribers soon. How did I get through my math classes? I don't even know how it was possible. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.